These look just like the symbols from Lily's game. I should talk to her about it. Can't open it. It's locked. I can't use that now. Hi, Bess.
Nancy, how goes the old mummy hunt?
Good, I think. Maybe bad.
Something happened, didn't it?
There was a sandstorm, and the professor from Kingston had to be taken to the hospital.
Nancy, be careful out there. It sounds dangerous.
I will.
George is all wrapped up in that new job of hers, but you can call me anytime you need help. Full disclosure, while I do play an Egyptologist on television, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Someone slashed the water tank. We're in big trouble.
That's bad. How bad is that? Hang on. How long before you die in a desert with no water? Question mark.
So?
2 days. That's the good news.
The bad news?
The second day sounds really, really bad. Nancy, you need to get out of there.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
birds are here. I must need to press them in a certain way. I need to figure out what it is. This looks important. This is a match to Lily's sunglasses. What was she doing sneaking around in the tunnels? Someone else has been down in these tunnels recently.
Yes?
I found a gold coffin. It could be Nefertari.
I must see this.
Hi, Nancy.
There was a cobra on my bed.
That is crazy. You're lucky you didn't get hurt. Is it still in there?
No, I took care of it.
Well, I'm never getting any sleep tonight. I imagine you aren't either.
I take it you're not a fan of snakes.
No one on Earth is a fan of snakes. If it lives on dry land and does not have feet, it should not exist. Even thinking about snakes gives me the creeps.
I found a gold coffin. We might really be on our way to finding Nefertari.
I can't believe it's really her. The lost queen, and we found her. Do you have any idea what this means?
She'll need a new nickname?
Very funny, but I do suppose you're right. What do you think about the returned queen? I should write that down. Nancy, you and me, we're going to be in the history books.
I look forward to being mentioned in many 6th grade essays.
True. But Nancy, you need to realize that this is important. How many people actually get to be part of something important?
Do you think this really is Nefertari's tomb?
I really hope so.
Why isn't she in the tomb in the Valley of the Queens?
There could be a lot of reasons. The worst case is grave robbers, but we really don't think that's the case.
Why not?
Because her valuables were found, but her body wasn't. Doesn't make sense. We think she was hidden. Ramses II was known to be very protective, and he was very concerned about the afterlife. It's possible Ramses built a false tomb to make sure she'd be undisturbed. There are many stories of his love for her, but we don't know how true they are.
If he went through so much trouble, don't you feel strange about disturbing her tomb?
No. Someone will do it eventually. If we get there first, she'll be treated with respect, and she'll truly get to live on forever. If someone else finds her, she'll go to the highest bidder.
If you're so interested in Nefertari, why aren't you below?
Promise you won't make fun of me?
Sure.
I'm a woman of science, okay? But the curse thing rattled me. I need to do research now anyway. I'd prefer to do it where nothing will fall on me, and maybe get a little FaceTime with a certain British someone.
Abdullah needs you.
Thanks. I'll be right back. And do not touch a thing.
I knew something didn't seem right. Who would lie about this?
Hello.
You don't really believe in any of this alien stuff, do you?
Of course I do. What's gotten into you, Nancy?
I've seen Sonny's letter. He says you've never taken one of his classes. How do you explain that?
Fine. You've made your point. What do you want from me?
The truth, for a change.
I guess the truth is mine to tell, and yours to find out.
So who are you here for? Abdullah or Nefertari?
Who says I'm here for either?
Common sense.
You're an interesting one, Nancy.
You didn't answer my question.
If you ever want to hear my answer, we'll need to reach an agreement.
What kind of agreement?
You don't speak a word of this to anyone here.
Oh, sure.
The time is not right. Wait.
So you don't actually believe in aliens?
Right. Except
Except what?
Sonny. He really is special.
What do you mean? How so?
I can't be the one to tell you. If you ever need to know, he'll find you.
I'd better get going.
Until later. Back so soon.
I'll catch you later.
Goodbye.
Nancy, hello.
Jamila claims that she's here for the aliens, but she has an archaeology book with her, and she appears to be pretty interested in the site.
Could be a coincidence. Or she could be lying to you about why she's there.
I wish there was a way to find out for sure which it is.
Same here. The best bet is to keep a close eye on her. Frankly, if she's not an alien believer, I want her at the site even less.
Why's that?
If she's lying about why she's there, that's trouble.
I'll let you go.
Talk to you later.
Hi, Nancy.
I'll catch you later.
Until later.
Hi.
Lily's been accused of falsifying her work. Why would Abdullah choose her to come along with him?
I have no clue.
Do you think it's possible that Abdullah just wanted to give her a second chance?
Maybe. He could see something in her that I don't.
You don't think that's true?
Nancy, I don't want you to carry my bias. Keep a keen eye on her, and everyone and everything at the site, for that matter.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello.
What happened when you were in school?
What do you mean?
You were involved in cheating or something like that.
I'm not going to talk about it with you. It was blown out of proportion.
Abdullah's been pretty understanding to look past those accusations.
You could say that.
Why did you say it that way?
Don't worry about it.
Abdullah's really mad that you keep missing him. You need to go find him now.
Okay, thanks. BRB.
It's the same as the rhinestone I found. What was she doing out in that part of the tunnels?
Nancy, hi.
Goodbye.
Until later.
I think I may have found Nefertari.
Who's that?
Nefertari, the reason you came here? Is your brain okay?
Kidding. It's been better. But that's fantastic. I knew you could do it. You want my advice? You get it documented and get out. I've got a bad feeling about things now.
Goodbye.
I'll be seeing ya.
Ahoy, hoy!
What do you know about Nefertari?
Ah, a love story. Oh, break out the tissue papyrus because when I'm done there won't be a dry Horus in the house.
What?
Look it up, dear. Ramses II and Nefertari shared a love so vast the world could scarcely contain it. I'm talking about the kind of love you spell capital L, capital O, heart instead of a V, capital E. They stood side by side and ruled the world, but as they saw the years stretch out before them, they were keenly aware that a handful of decades would never cut it. They needed to be together always.
That's sweet.
And relevant. The ancient Egyptians believed that life was little more than a dress rehearsal for eternity. I found records that they concocted a plan to be together forever, side by side.
Why not be buried side by side?
They foresaw a volatile future for their kingdom, and they were correct. They knew they would have to enact safeguards. That's why in 1904, when QV-66, the so-called tomb of Nefertari, was found, her body was not there.
What are the chances we found Nefertari's tomb?
If I were a gambling Hotchkiss, I'd say 60-40.
I still don't get all this business with QV-66. Why build a fake tomb?
For the same reason I never carry my passport in my purse when I travel. Some things are too valuable to leave in a tempting place.
You mentioned an expedition that found QV-66, Nefertari's tomb.
It was one of the most significant finds in archaeology. They call it the Sistine Chapel of Egypt. It's where my fascination with the royalty of Egypt was born. The color alone took my breath away. We think of ancient Egypt as being a subdued sand color, but it was a riotous display with all the visual delights of a midsummer gelato shop cooler case.
And you don't think Nefertari was entombed there?
They only found kneecaps, which supposedly means that her tomb was robbed.
You disagree?
I do. What good is the mummy without the context? It's the placement in the tomb that makes the mummy valuable.
Why is Nefertari so important?
There are two queens I find most fascinating in ancient Egypt, and for exactly the same reason. They were hidden. Hatshepsut is the first.
I think I've heard of her. She was the pharaoh that was almost removed from the historical record, right?
Exactly! 20-some years of peace and stability, and after she dies, Thutmose III's ancient cronies try to erase her from the record.
Why?
Jealousy, revenge, fear that his reign would never equal hers. You name it, but you can't keep a good woman down. Despite the efforts of Thutmose III's supporters, her legacy endured.
And Nefertari?
In my opinion, she's the opposite. She was obsessively preserved in the historical record, but it was her tomb that was hidden.
How sure are you that Nefertari's tomb was hidden?
There was something strange about QV-66. I think that might be why it is off limits to this day.
It is?
To you and me, at the very least. There is a rumor that the tomb has a clue to the true location of Nefertari's mummy.
Really?
Who knows? I'll tell you this. I didn't have time to read all of the hieroglyphs, but I noticed that the syntax was a little, shall we say, wonky.
I don't know how hieroglyph syntax could be non-wonky.
True, but it was almost as if Nefertari and Ramses II had their own language.
Lily seems to be taking this curse business very seriously.
I thought you were Lily.
The other Lily?
Hotchkiss prank! Oh, you're such a good sport, Nadine. That's a little silly of her, don't you think? Curses may only be a figment of our overactive imaginations.
That's what I think.
There are more pressing things to worry about. Most Egyptologists die because the desert is inhospitable and positively crawling with diseases. Horrid molds and bacteria that have been breeding for thousands of years unchecked. And let's not forget the lack of structural integrity of most of the tombs.
That's less than reassuring.
Oh dear, everybody dies, but life isn't worth living if you don't take a few risks. Although I guess I should stress that everyone dies much faster in the desert. Much, much faster.
See ya.
I need your help finding some items in the tomb.
Maybe later.
Goodbye.
Hi!
What do you think of Jamila?
When she talks to me, I always keep checking for the hidden camera.
Huh?
No one can be that nuts. I'm still convinced we're gonna end up on a hidden camera show called Suckers Talking to Crazies.
Agreed.
Oh, good. Finally, someone I can be myself around. I'm glad you're staying. I don't know why Abdullah doesn't just kick her out.
What do you think about Dylan?
Did we accidentally invite the whole world to this dig? With the exception of a decent work crew, that is. Although I do hate that I don't know why he is here. He is definitely easy on the eyes.
Agreed.
But if he stays out in the sun any longer, he's going to get all lobstery. Definite turnoff for us land dwellers.
I found a rhinestone in a hidden tunnel.
So? That could mean anything.
You're the only one here with rhinestones. That means you were there.
It doesn't mean anything. Leave it alone.
Can you tell me what the symbols on the Senate board mean?
The special squares are the House of Rebirth, the House of Happiness, the House of Three Truths, and the House of Re Atom. That represents the House of Water.
What's the House of Water?
In the desert, water is very important, obviously. But when the desert is creeping in, stripping away all of the grazing lands, the House of Water became a powerful idea. It was the element the ancient Egyptians revered and were terrified of offending.
I'll let you go.
See ya!